to triumph always. Who causes us to triumph always, always. Not sometimes, but always, always. See, God is not the originator of what you are going through. I come with that message for you tonight. God is not an originator of what you are going through. God is not the cause of the situation you might seem to have found yourself in right now. God didn't afflict you with the affliction you think that you might be going through at the moment. You see, you need to understand the personality of God to be able to enjoy the best of God. God is not just a good God. God is a God that lavishes his resources upon his men, upon his son. Ephesians 1 verse 3. He said, blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who has blessed us with all spiritual blessings. With all spiritual blessings. What he's saying there is, you see that he says he has blessed us, which means it's something he has already done. And he blessed us with all spiritual blessings. What he's saying there is, if God had physical blessings in heaven, he would have given us physical blessings alongside. But everything he has are spiritual blessings, because in heaven, what God has is spiritual blessings. He has granted everything to us. God is a lavish God. God is not just a good God. He lavishes his resources upon his men. And I want you to have that understanding. I want you to go in that mind as you're going home this evening. That God is a lavish God. God is a lavish God. God is a lavish God. Hallelujah. God is a lavish God. See, our message tonight. Daddy has always taught us that man is a tripartite being, which means man is a spirit that has a soul and lives in a body. Man is a spirit. As I am a spirit. I have a soul and I live in body. Let me use this phone as an example. Now, this phone that you are seeing, the important part of this phone is the panel, right? Please, I want us to respond, right? Good. Now, the panel has a SIM that you store contacts, informations, messages, and everything. Then both of them are placed inside this phone. Now, if you remove the panel, no matter how fine this phone is, it is gone. No matter how, James 2 verse 26, it says, for as the body is dead without the spirit, the A part, for as the body is dead without the spirit, that is the same way. If you remove this panel, no matter how fine this phone might be, you know, some of us, we use phones that the spirit is slow or the spirit is dead. Like, this phone has been amazing in my life. Most times when I want to go to daddy to go and show daddy something, I will have to open it down, because by the time you open it, you know, those kind of phone that you cannot use to collect number or you can't use to do rule of 2. That's because you know that it would. Now, what's happening there is, as fine as from afar, you'll be like, oh, wow, Pastor Dami, I love your phone. Though I've flashed it, it's not working fine. Now, you might be like, Pastor Dami, wow, I love your phone. But what's happening is, the panel is slow. The spirit of the phone is slow. And then it's not working anymore, we'll say that, oh, probably the panel, it's a panel issue. No matter how fine the phone is. That's the same way we are. Our spirit is who we are. Then we have a soul that is, both of them are placed inside the body. You have to understand that for you to be able to enforce and convert the spiritual blessing, you need to have that understanding that I am a spirit. And what God, the Bible says that God is a spirit, and he that worship him will need to worship him what? In spirit and in truth. In spirit and in truth. So which means the spiritual blessings you receive them by evening. You receive them by our spirits. So now, what's happening is, when God gave us everything as spiritual blessings, our spirits received it. The day you said, oh Lord, I accept you as my Lord and Savior, your spirit came back alive. Your spirit blessings. With all spiritual blessings, he has given everything. Spiritual blessings. We have been on the series enforcing your victory, and Daddy has taught us ways to come through me against my land, strong and without number. Strong now says, then consecrate a fast, call a sacred assembly. Thank you, sir. gather the elders and all the inhabitants into the house of the Lord. What's happening here? God is saying that against my own land, be able to bring that. Let's say, among the HODs, among the workers, even among the workforce, if as they become Kasungo, they've run. Now, assuming after 10 minutes, I came back, I said, Mr. Joseph, we all know me, especially when you just finished drinking Pepsi, you will be walking majestically. Now, what is happening there is, before then, Jesus Christ really is. They had the revelation of who Jesus Christ really is. But one thing was lacking, the consecration to back up. That you are kind. I have never seen your kind. I'm devoted to your praise. I'm forever. The first response should be that, oh, you are not feeling fine. Oh, come, let me pray for you. Let us pray together. That should be your first response. Not, I know you are trying to be caring, I know you are trying, but see, let people call you archaic. But be archaic using the things that work. Things that works are, you speak to that sickness. Why? Because he has gained all dominion, all power away from the sickness. And he has given us what? All authority. Your first response always should not be, oh, have you treated yourself? Oh, make sure you rest well. Pray for the person. Even if it is you, pray for yourself. So don't fight using the wrong weapon. Don't fight using the wrong weapon. I heard of a testimony recently that actually changed. See, people are actually going through a lot. The testimony was this. There was this brother that was writing WAHEC, was writing it year after year. Maybe it is JAMB that you are writing and then you are not passing and you are like, Lord, what is happening? This person was writing WAHEC year after year, and was having F9. Wrote it for 7 years straight. Not JAMB. It is when at least you see cross one C before you go and cross another C. He was not even able to cross the first C. Then his dad was like, there was a year his dad was like, you've been writing this thing for 7 years. Why don't you just rest and then write this thing the next? Then why don't you just rest for this year? That same year, exam that he didn't write, they sent results to him. He had F9 all through. It was like his system has been programmed by territorial powers that no matter what, either you write it or you don't write it. See, at that moment, he knew that all WAEC lessons, everything, were the wrong weapons. Then he focused on the right weapons. Then he went back to God, that God, you have to have mercy on me. See, are you fighting the wrong battle? Are you fighting the battle with the wrong weapon, rather? Are you fighting the battle with the wrong weapon? Tell your enemy, fight the battle with the right weapon. Come on, that is not everyone. Fight the battle with the right weapon. How do we fast? Number one, we fast with a righteous living. If you are not born, you can't fast. Because what is happening is, at that moment, your spirit is dead. Your spirit man is dead. So it is he that his spirit is alive that can say, oh, I want to crucify my flesh in order to strengthen my spirit. So you have to be born again before you can fast. Number two, we fast with a holiness living. We fast with a holiness living. See, righteousness and holiness. Righteousness is a gift. It is what was given unto you by God. That, oh, the moment Christ died on the cross and he rose up, you over sin. And he has given you what? He has given you righteousness. For by one man, righteousness came into the world. So, for as long as you believe, you have become righteous. But holiness is different. Holiness is a sanctifying living. It's a life that I am fasting. What most of us do is, whenever we are fasting, that is when we remember that, okay, I'm fasting from 6 to 6. So what we do is we prepare our timetable. Okay, I'll pray from this time to this time. Sometimes we just, okay, let me even start praying. then you start praying. You know, that time you are charged up. Oh, I am fasting and praying over this matter. Then after starting prayer, 8 o'clock, then you finish your prayer. It was 9:20, and you are still wondering, this is 9:20 a.m. There is still 6 a.m. For me, back then, what I do is I will sleep. That's what most of us do. You sleep for a while. You'll be sleeping. And funny enough, there is a kind of sleep that comes with fasting. Those sleep are always so short. You know, you sleep and then you have dreamt all the dream that you can dream. And then you wake up. You slept 9:30. You wake up. You realize that it's still 11:45. Then you now pack up all the movies that you can see. You pack them up. Money eyes, everything. Then you start watching movies. I am fasting. So truly, you are abstaining from food, but you are not abstaining from fleshy desires. What fasting is fasting is consecrating yourself. Consecration, see, let me try to explain what consecration is so that you will not misunderstand when I'm using consecration and fasting. Now, consecration and fasting is like the secret place and prayer. What you do in your secret place is you pray. So what you do when you are consecrating is you fast. Secret place is a long time thing, but prayer is when it comes. You say you pray without ceasing. Prayer is, okay, at that moment you are praying, but you have a secret place. But consecration, that's the way consecration is. So consecration is you set yourself apart. You are setting yourself apart that, oh, this I will not do, this I will not do. I am setting myself apart for God. So what happens is, what you do in consecrating is you fast. If you say that I am consecrating myself, that means I am fasting a particular thing. It says, present yourself as a holy sacrifice unto God. So what you are doing is to present yourself as a holy sacrifice. You have to a holy sacrifice that is presentable unto God. So fasting is what you do in consecrating. So if I am using consecration and fasting, please don't misunderstand. Are we here? So now what is, when you fast, you have to ensure that you fast with a holy living. You can't be fasting and you are getting hungry. You can't be fasting and then someone's lifting is making you feel envious. At that moment, what is happening is, see, pride, envy, anything in life. What God is trying to tell you. That is why, see, when you fast, you know, that you always say in the paper. But our confidence is in the God that we are fasting unto. At that moment, what is happening is you are so sure that no matter. At that moment, what is happening is you are so sure that no matter see, it is in fasting that you get your victory notes. At times we say that, oh, I don't want to feel like, we say that, oh, I don't want to feel like I'm being overconfident. See, victory notes and overconfidence are two different things. Because what comes from victory notes is to crucify that flesh and pick your spirit man, let it be alive. Charge up your spirit man. So you have to fast with a 3. We fast by abstinence from food and pleasures. I've stated Isaiah 58 verse 3. It says, have we not fasted? Verse 3. It says, have we not fasted? Why? Can you give me the NLT? NLT. They say, we have fasted before you. They say, why aren't you impressed? We have been very hard on ourselves, and you don't even notice it. What most of us are doing is, we are doing hunger strike. See, if you want to fast, it's a thing. You have to know that what you are doing is, see, consecration. Let me give you a better definition of consecration. A better definition of consecration is crucifying a thing, abstaining from a particular thing while you involve yourself in spiritual things. So you can't consecrate yourself by saying, oh, I am abstaining from this, I am abstaining from that, and you are not involving yourself in things that will actually charge up your spirit. So consecration is you are abstaining from fleshy desires while you ensure that you stick to things that will charge up your spirit. That is why most times in the Bible, fasting was not mentioned without prayer. Because prayer is supposed to help you to consecrate yourself, involve yourself in things that will charge up your spirit. When you are fasting, see, you should, that's number 4 actually. Number 4, you prepare your spirit to fast. You prepare your spirit to fast. That's how we fast. We prepare your spirit to fast. If I want to fast, some things I need to do. Okay, I need to pray. I need to study the word. I need to listen to messages.
See, bombard yourselves with time. There should be times that probably you go to the toilet. When you go to the toilet, you just speak in tongues, even if it's for just 10 minutes. What you are doing is you are charging up yourself. You are involving in things that will really charge up your spirit. You see, we have fasted before you. Have been very hard. So when you fast, you ensure that you are involving yourself in spiritual things. The next one, why do we fast? Why do we fast? We fast to receive what God has made available for us. I did told you that whenever you are fasting, what you are doing is you are consecrating yourself unto God so that you can connect better with God. Your spirit man can become at alert. It's just like when you are tuning a radio. You are tuning a radio. In case you might not be those kind of radio, what is, they have a kind of knob that you keep tuning. You keep tuning. Now it's button, you just keep pressing. Then you keep tuning. Then there's this one red line that you just have to make sure that you are very, very careful. If you pass it, you go back until you can hear that you are connecting. You are making sure that you keep yourself in attune to God so that you can hear yourself, so that you can hear God clearly. So we fast to receive what God has made available for us. Number 2, fasting humbles you. Fasting humbles you. Psalm 35 verse 13. Fasting humbles you. It said, but as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled myself with fasting. Fasting humbles you. How does fasting humbles you? By crucifying that flesh, because pride is of the flesh. So what is happening is you are killing every fruit of the flesh. Number 3, fasting creates an atmosphere of favor. Fasting creates an atmosphere of favor. Esther 4 verse 16. In Esther 4 verse 16, when Esther, you should do a 3 days for me, fast for me. I and my maid also. We would in chapter 15 verse 3. See, what happened there is that has already explained it to us. Esther was not supposed to, as a queen, you are not supposed to enter the inner court of the palace until you are summoned. So Esther, after fasting on that 3rd day, she wore a nice robe and then she entered into the inner courts of the palace that you are not supposed to enter. The moment the king saw her, I've never seen that manner of favor. He said the moment he saw her, then he has not even waited for her to respond. And he said, do you want half of my kingdom? I will give it to you. So fasting creates an... See, I heard of a testimony recently that actually is a proof that, see, the things of the Spirit actually works. The things of the Spirit works. That what's it called? A doctor was brought into our office that this person is to be transferred to another country to go and become the manager of the company in that country, of the branch company in that country. Then what they came back to her and told her that no, this was not the person we were supposed to bring. This is the number 2, because after the interview, that person was the first person, was the person that came first. Then they were like, no, that's not the person we want to send. The person we want to send is the person that came second. And then she was like, no, I won't agree that. You already came and I approved it, that the person that came first should go. So I'm not going to agree to that. Then after the person left, she stood up from my office and then she went to the secretary and said, help me to look for this person in any way that you can look for it. Because they could have, what happened, she said, they could have actually taken that document away without her seeing it. But they first brought it to her again. They could have done it, sending the person that came second, sending the person to the country to go and start working. But they brought it back to her and she was like, help me to search for this person in any way that you can. And the secretary means, and then she went on social media and then she saw that this person had a praying wife. See, let me tell you something. These things of the Spirit, they matter a whole lot. they matter a whole lot. See, when they say fast and pray, what happens is most of us, we don't know why we are fasting. We just think that it's an hunger strike, you want to use your hunger strike to please God. No, your fasting is not primarily to please God. Your fasting is to take you, to grow you, to receiving what God has made available in the kingdom. So your fasting is to take you up, to receive what God has made available in the kingdom. If, let's say, there is a particular height I can't touch, if I call Pastor Sam can touch that height. The reason is because he's taller than I am, actually. So you'll be able to touch it easily. But for me, I will need to grow to be able to touch it. And I think I can't grow anymore. So what is happening is he has grown to be able to touch that height. That is what fasting does for you. Fasting puts you in a pedestal of growth to ensure that you are able to receive. When I remember clearly when I'm going to mention Pastor Tayo, Pastor Shegu, and Pastor Timmy. In case you don't know them, when they were anointed to become ministers and pastors, and they came back, they were, when men go for retreats and they come back and they're just making jest of themselves that this person it was like the person should faint, no food, no water for 3 days. And then, now, if you see the life of all of them are Jews. You might be thinking that, Pastor Tayo is in Ibadan. Maybe to go to Ibadan to go and see what Pastor Tayo is doing in Ibadan. Now, what I'm trying to say, basically, is, see, that's the next one. I think that's number 4. Yes, fasting prepares you for your assignments. 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 At times, Daddy has always shared this with you, that when he was to go into ministry, Daddy fasted for a year, all through. Fasted for a year. See, what fasting does is, I already told you that fasting is like exercising your spirit. Exercising your spirit. What is happening is you are building capacity in the spirit. You are building capacity in the spirit. And what it is that you couldn't control before, now you can control them. Because as you begin to fast, I already told you, your fasting does not please God. Your fasting takes you closer to God. So your fasting is like you are building capacity in the spirit to be able to receive that which God has made available for you. Has God been telling you that, you are going to become a CEO, you are going to become a banker, you are going to become a owner of a company, you are going to become the head of that company you are working in, and it's not looking like it. See, there are times you go back. It is like recharge. There are times you go back to your secret place and then you just take a fast. I already told you, fasting is not just abstinence from food. Fasting is abstinence from food and fleshy pleasures, fleshy desires, in order to what? In order to, so that your spirit man can be strengthened and grow to receive that which God has been communicating to you. Fasting ensures that you receive what God has been trying to tell you. Because, see, at that moment when you are fasting, your spirit antenna becomes so sharp. It becomes so sharp. But what happens is, the reason most of us will fast and then we just leave it at that is because it's like when you go to a gym. For people like me, you know that a lot of people have been telling me that, Pastor Dami, go to the gym. Pastor Dami, go to the gym. You have a good body for gym. And me, I always tell them that, how many pastors have you seen that has muscle? The reason is because, actually, they'll tell you go to the gym and they'll be like, you are looking so fit. They don't know the pain you are feeling at times. Now, what is happening is, when you go to the gym, you are strengthening yourself. Then, don't be like some people that they will go to the gym for 1 week. They will go to the gym for 1 week. Then, after that 1 week, they run away the gym for 1 week. Then, after that 1 week, they run away. That is what you are doing. We are meant to live a fasted life. We are meant to live a fasted life. But so what happens is like, when you do MMM, Lord, I have fasted for 3 days. I'm expecting to receive my answer. You are meant to receive. You are meant to fasted life. If you are not seeing the results, take a break, fast again. If you are not, take a break, fast again. If you are not seeing the results, take a break, fast again. The reason is because it's not that God has not answered you, but you yourself, you need. See, it says Daniel was in that secret place for 21 days. Not because God has not answered, but because the prince of Persia was limiting. So it's not that God has not answered you, but you yourself, you have not that God has not answered you, but you yourself, you have not grown into mature a fasted life. But most times we all just go back, I fasted for 7 days, you know. You know that some people, sometimes we even take pride in that, I just finished 22. And before that 21 days, I said it was probably like 4 years ago. Then the next time you fast again, maybe like in the next 1 year. Fasting is not supposed to be when the church says, oh, we are fasting, or we live a fasted life. So when you see that thing is not working, it's because you went to the gym today and you ran away. If you want to build that muscle, to be able to, have you seen power? Trust me, that thing that they carry. Trust me, that thing that they carry. For them to get to that level, do you know the number of times they have gone back to the gym? It's not because going to the gym is shooting. It's not because going to the gym is interesting. Because they know that there is a thing to gain when you go back, when you go to the gym. You go in the morning and you know that, oh, I feel weak, but I have to. Then you go in the evening. See, let me tell you something. The reason it seems as though you are not living a fasted life yet is because you feel like, oh, see, I'm not facing any problem at the moment, at least. I'm getting this, I'm getting that. But what you don't know is, see, Satan is actually not very much, oh, this person, there are like 10 destinies that are attached to this person. He has seen that this person will become a CEO. This person will become a kingdom financier. And this person will be able to support the kingdom. Now, what he now does is, he starts afflicting you with a sickness that is not allowing you to go to work. He starts afflicting you with financial issues that is not allowing you to think of. And truly, I've actually realized that it's true. And this is for intercessors. If you are interceding for someone, especially let's say you are interceding for your dad, you are interceding for a close family, the people that you are interceding for, they are the ones that will get you angry. Because the devil will not just sit back and be watching you take charge and turn the situation around. He will now use that same person to fight you. Why? Because he knows that the moment you now say, see, and when the Yoruba will say, anytime to read a don't just now, you'll be like the person, I'll wake up 1 o'clock to pray for you. I'll wake up to pray for you, yet you are fighting me. Then you stop the prayer. The devil was not attacking your friendship. He was attacking that prayer. That is why you have to be sensitive. That's what fasting does for you. It raises up your antenna. Allows you to become more sensitive in the spirit. You are a spirit man. You are a spirit man. You are a spirit man. Say that I am a spirit man. I am a spirit man. And to enforce that victory, you have to live a fasted life. Stop going to the gym just once. Stop going to the gym just once. Someone amazing in church said that he has started going to the gym. I was like, we all know that it is not possible. And he's serious. And then we were like, it's a lie. It's another thing you're looking for. And truly, he said what he was looking for. And I knew that. Because you know some people that when everybody is saying, let us exercise, they will be like, see, it is not for me. And then later hear that they are going to the gym. That is what is happening. Most of us, we go to the gym, just go to the gym for 3 days. No. You don't just fast for 3 days. You live a fasted life. See, have a time you fast. You should, as a Christian, you should have a time you fast in a week, Actually, you should have a time you fast in a week. If you don't have a time to fast in a week, see, just take this as an iodine, rub it on your injury, and go back home, allow it to heal, and then work on it. Go back home and pick a day that, Lord, I want to. And what happens is, most of us who have done this, they will ask you, I fast every Monday. You know, I've even gotten so used to it that on Mondays, you forget to eat. You've not had, I forget to eat that. Like, it's now, I've been fasting since 2020. Now, what is happening is, at that moment, fasting has now become, I am hard on myself. It is not that you are crucifying the flesh to raise up the spirit anymore. So if you are fasting, fast with a consciousness of, oh, I am fasting to what? To charge up my spirit. To charge up my spirit. Have you not seen our parents? See, there are some privileges most of us have that some of us actually do not have. But I know there are lots of parents. When I mean there are privileges, I came from a Muslim background. But even at that, my mom fasts every Monday and Thursdays. And most of us, that's the kind of family we came from. These are people that the kind of revelation we have. They have the right consecration to back up the revelation that they have. That's why sometimes they will call you and they will just say Ibo Lowa, and you'll be like, Ibo Mowa, as in how? Sorry, like, so they're not speaking. They will call you and ask you that, where are you? Probably you're about to do something that you shouldn't do. Or they will just tell you, most of our parents is dream, actually. They will tell you that, I had a dream that this happened. Don't go to that. My mom will always say, be careful of friends. And now, what is happening is, these people, they are, even though you are saying, oh, I am a new creation in Christ, everything, they have the right consecration to back up the little revelation that they have. That is why you should work on your consecration. I've already told you, when I'm using consecration and fasting, they are more or less the same. So ensure that you have the right consecration to back up your fasting. Why? Because in the presence of God, all things are possible. All things are possible. You take yourself back to the habitat of God. And you say, see, fasting is saying, Lord, you are the only one that I have. You are surrendering your flesh. Because trust me, the flesh will not just sit back. The devil will not just sit back and watch you fasting. He will bring things to distract you. Have you not wondered? And you are wondering that, why is it that before I used to do these things, but now I don't even have time for these things anymore? What is happening is, see, the devil is now giving you, when you pray and pray for an opening, and then the Lord gives you, let's say the Lord gives you a contract. Then the contract is supposed to last for 10 years. Now what is happening is, you fasted and prayed for those 10 years to get that contract. You fasted and prayed to get that contract for 10 years, that's going to last for 10 years. Now what is happening is, that contract is now keeping you busy. What you don't know is, see, the devil just watched you, allowed you to take that contract, because he knows that you are going to become so busy that you not have time to do the things that you always do before. In case, see, that is why, if there is one thing you should always pray for, that Lord, any blessing that is going to take me away from your presence, Lord, I don't want it. Because the truth is, and this, I'm going to end with this. I don't know why media are not giving me time since, actually. I would go to end with this. There is something that God quickly helped me with. And it is that whenever you get into a new level, there is always a test for that level. Trust me. See, the moment before, let's say probably before, the amount that was always coming to your account regularly, you can give out 10,000 naira freely. The moment you start earning 100,000 naira, your shoulder pad, you know that there's a trend now, they will say that nothing do me. Now, I just realized that something. So at that moment, you now realize that now you cannot give out 100K. At that moment, you now start entering into little things of pride. See, at every level, the test for that level will come to know if you are well prepared for that level. The moment you leave your hundreds of thousands level, you are going to enter into the millions level. And once you enter into the millions level, another test will come to test you if you are truly prepared for that level. That is why, as a Christian, you should actually be sensitive. Be sensitive. Be sensitive. And that's what fasting and prayer does for us. Fasting takes you back to God. When you know that, oh Lord, these things, they are taking my time. Lord, what should I do? You go back to your secret place and then you prepare a fast. It says consecrate a fast. Call a sacred assembly. Gather all the elders, all the inhabitants of the land into the house of the Lord and do what? Cry out to the Lord. Cry out to the Lord. Pray, because there is no fasting without what? Consecration. There is no fasting without the things of the spiritual things. I'm intentionally not mentioning prayer because it's not only prayer that you are supposed to do during fasting. Bombard yourself with messages. See, at that moment, messages that you listened to before, you've listened to it over 20 times, probably your favorite message. At that moment, you are fasting. You now start hearing things clearly. You'll be like, why is it that I have not had this thing all this while? Why? Because now you are living a fasted life. Most of us, we think, oh, fasting is for, people that are going to ministry. No, fasting is for a Christian. Because what is happening is, most of us have limited it so, it is those that are looking for power that goes to fast. No, Fasting is for every Christian. Why? Because fasting is an exercise for the spirit, and we are all spirits. Our spirit is now alive, for there is no more condemnation. Now we have been what? We have been made one with Christ. You are now one with Christ. So your spirit should come alive, and to strengthen your spirit, you need to do what? Fast. Consecrate yourself. Consecrate yourself. Consecrate yourself. Please on the keyboard, sir. Nothing else matters. Nothing else counts. I'm in the presence of my Maker. Oh, nothing else matters. Nothing else counts. I'm in the presence of my Maker. See, the plans the Lord has for you is bigger than you. I'm going to end with that. The plans the Lord has for you, you cannot do it with your own strength. You can't get to that height with your own power. That is why you need to go back to God. And this is just a clarion call for us to enforce that victory. You saw it in Joel 1 verse 6. It was the land of God. God has said, I will give this to you. God said, a nation has risen up against my land. If that was God's own, that was God. See, that's why most of us just stay at the level of, oh, God has told me that I'm going to become this. God has given the go ahead to do this. No, you don't. Daddy whatever you get through faith, you need extra faith to grow it. This, I will not do this again. That is consecrating, setting yourself apart for a particular purpose, for the use of God. You're supposed to spend on that. You know that if you spend on, let me say, frivolous things, then you say, Lord, this I am putting this to give to you. I will always give you this particular amount. That is you consecrating yourself. What you are doing is you are denying yourself of those things that you could have enjoyed. That's why I said fasting. What you do in consecrating is actually you fast. You fast fleshy desires. So is there someone that needs to go back to God this evening? God has told you, I will do this for you, I will do that for you. You have been trusting God to do this, you have been trusting God to do that for you. But it seems as though it is not coming. You have been too busy because of your work. Oh, that business, it seems as though that business, most of us say, oh, it's only at night that customers come. On Sunday morning, that is when customers come. What you are not seeing is, yes, you are trying to make ends meet. But have you looked at the long run? What the devil is depriving you of is his presence. That is why you go back to God. That God, I want to live this fasted life. Why? Because I want to prune myself of fleshy desires. And what? Energize my spirit. That, Lord, what are you telling me this season? So this evening, can we rise up to our feet? God is saying to someone tonight that come back to me. Let go of every distraction. I started when I was saying that God is not the one that afflicted you with every affliction you are going through. God is a God that lavishes his resources upon men. So I want you to go back this evening to God, that God, I consecrate myself back unto you. I give myself back to you. Everything distracting me, everything that is taking me away from you, I prune myself off it.
In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Give me the other mic. Can we celebrate Pastor Dami tonight? No, I was telling my wife there, I said that's powerful. I said that's powerful. Please, can we celebrate him one more time? Let's have a seat very briefly. I think he made mention more on fasting. And that's powerful. I was blessed. By the way, CHRISTWAY ARENA Lagos is starting next month. Hallelujah.